Interestingly enough, in that same issue, this is one of the rare moments where the Sandman shows that he has a conscience. You know, the Sandman, he's a criminal, he's a convict, he's always on the lam, but he's not a complete sociopath. The Sandman does have a heart, and he makes it through the time portal on the lam. He's on the run from the police, doesn't know what it is, just jumps on in, finds himself in the middle of a concentration camp. The grief and the compassion of Sandman, seeing that on Sandman's face for the first time in his life as a comic book character, as he witnesses this mayhem, this human tragedy, this human slaughter, this hell house. You know, he's looking at the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, you know, dying from typhus and starvation and the terrible conditions of being in a concentration camp, that Sandman actually decides to disguise himself as Ash so as to trick the concentration camp guards into thinking that they had incinerated more people than they actually had. And so, you know, the Sandman, he could make himself huge. He made himself into this pile of ash that was about as big as 6 million bodies. As the incinerated bodies of 6 million people, he turned himself into that much ash. I think in that issue he took on a Christ metaphor persona. But that's one of the most touching moments, is seeing Sandman do that. At the time, Holocaust denial wasn't as big of a deal, so that issue was not a hot button issue. But I think if there was any sort of denial or fudging the numbers or anything like that, that would be less of a Sandman thing, more something that you might see from the Riddler. If anyone was going to obfuscate the truth with what happened with the Holocaust, whether it be a numbers game or whatever, I think you'd expect something like that from the Riddler. That's definitely the Riddler. I think if anyone were going to obfuscate the truth with what happened with the Holocaust and play around with the numbers or whatever sort of weird little techniques, I think that's something you would expect to see from the Riddler.
Oh my God!
That's definitely the Riddler.